Hey, Verna here, Integrative Wisdom. We are working on our chakra series. It is session number 7, but chakra number 6, which is right here. So it's the third eye. You may have heard it called the third eye. So it's called also the chakra of wisdom. The idea that here is the power of the mind in this energy that's present, okay? A lot of this has to do with our beliefs and attitudes, with our mental and reasoning abilities, with our conscious and unconscious psychological forces. This is where the mind and psyche. Now, it's interesting if you look for the definition of psyche. They throw a bunch of stuff in there. I was kind of surprised. It's like, oh, well, it's your mind or your soul or your spirit. So let's just imagine all of that together, coming together. And when we are conscious, we can tap into the psyche. Now, the psyche is always going to be trying to reach out to us because it's kind of like if I define soul as the deepest, truest, most complete part of who we are, then that wants to be made present and made manifest in the physical world. So our challenge is to enable something like that, to be able to reach our intuition and our wisdom. We have to be able to open our mind, develop an impersonal mind. So not an attachment to what I think is right, as opposed to finding a kernel of truth within a belief or attitude that I hold. It's being able to act on an internal prompt to be able to move forward, which can be very scary because we don't like change. And if we're being asked to rethink everything, that's a lot of work. A challenge, in addition, is being able to listen and act on an internal sense of direction, okay? Being able to distinguish between fear and illusion or strength. So the physical aspects here are the brain and the neurological system. So again, if we say thoughts are things and we're struggling with our with being in the world and how we're seeing the world, it can be made manifest in a physical way. Okay, there are other factors too, but just to be aware again of the interconnectedness between body, mind, spirit, right? So here we go. Fears that we may have here, difficulty facing truth, using sound, realistic judgment, and our shadow side. So all that icky stuff that has come from various ways that environment and family and all those other cultural things have played and preyed upon us, we may be very fearful and we may not trust these inner messages, right? So what's interesting when I was researching this, I've always, thought about the idea of, living your life's purpose, right? And that may be, I've said it could be the quality of just the love that we share with others. But I liked this when I read it. It's not just in our actions or like the job that we have or what we create, but in the quality of the person I become. So this energy here in the third eye, the chakra of wisdom, what is the quality of me? How am I being out in the world? Am I sticking to my guns and saying, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm very judgmental, my way or the highway? Caution, caution. So the task is to seek the truth, the kernel of truth, and not about our religion or our culture. Societal says to do it this way, but start listening deeper to the psyche and says, wait a minute, what is the kernel of truth here? Right? When you begin to look at religions and values, to seek the kernel of truth within and what goes across all of them. Interestingly here, the difference between the brain and the mind. So sometimes we might use them interchangeably. My brain, my mind. What's the difference? Well, the brain is the instrument through which the mind works. So the brain will hopefully follow the mind's directions. So when I have a thought, what I may not realize is that thought starts all kinds of processes in my body. It starts the chemical processes, begins to send signals down to my gut, down to my toes, to my heart, to my hands. What am I going to do right now? I just sent a signal out. Is it going to follow that? And so if we're carrying anger and frustration, but we're trying not to put that out there, our body's still going to get that message because the brain is sending the signal because our mind is sending it to the brain. So we have a responsibility. It's crazy. So let's see. I like this line, and I think it should be a hashtag, hashtag a conscious lifestyle. To be conscious, to be made conscious. What is our psyche trying to tell us? What is it trying to help us understand about the world in which we live and about the presence that we bring to that world? Okay. Detachment. Now, a lot of people think about detachment as not caring, as being cold and unfeeling, but it's not. It's not being attached to an outcome. It's like, I'm not invested in you believing. I'm not invested, and I don't have to get angry that you don't see the world in the way that I do. It's a standalone truth that I have been able to come to. And when we're able to do that and have that open mind, then we're able to receive an inner guidance and an inner wisdom. Now, importantly, we have to be able to stay in the present moment. We have to be able to stay in the now, because if we start to project forward, then the fears and the not knowing and all of those things can take over, which then sends signals to our body, right? And our body begins to react. So having that ability to be in the now, to listen to an inner wisdom, to have the ability to join the mind with the actions that we need to take. So interestingly, when our psyche, our soul, our spirit is trying to reach us, we can begin to get these signals, right? We begin to feel things. We say, I got this weird thing in the pit of my stomach, or my gut is feeling like it's, punching me here, but I don't want to make those changes. I don't want to look at things any differently. I just want to know what I know, and I know right now. It would be of great importance to not only you, but to all of the people around you, to stop and begin to listen to these inner voices and these inner prompts. And they are always going to be for your best good. They're not going to be things that are harmful to you or others, okay? Now, to be able to get to this, to use this energy as best as we are able, it takes discipline, it takes practice, it takes effort, it takes dedication. You got any of those handy? Because you're going to need them, in doing this work with the chakras. Okay. Let's see. So there's a 12-step process here. I'm going to read them to you. They're the quick and dirty version. You have to take time for introspection. You have to listen. You can't just be out there blah, 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 move all the time. You got to listen in. You got to cultivate an open mind to be able to stop saying no. You got to listen. You got to avoid defensiveness and say, my way, the highway, you're full of it. We know people are saying that a lot. But to be able to listen again for that truth. Look for symbolic insight and direction. So again, I always use this one. We ended up in Escondido with this crazy little place right here because of those nudges, because of me doing this work. Okay. And this one too, be open to dreams. So I was given all kinds of symbolic insight with dreams during this time back in about 2005. Release blame, whatever is happening. Stop looking for people or things to blame it on, but begin to try to look for a deeper purpose to what is happening and unfolding, to see what your part in that is and how you can help make it better. And again, practicing detachment so that I don't become overinvested in one way. I need to stay open and listen and trust. Let go of judgment. Detach from fear. How many of you are going to be able to do that? That is a constant to be able to say, okay, with this energy of wisdom, do not be fearful. Do not be afraid. I am with you. So this is interesting to see success as a byproduct of being able to be self-controlling and not as external goals. So, people define their success by, I keep seeing these, 100, what is it? 6-figure income, blah, 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 blah. That's not a definition of success. A definition of success is more that place of being in control, self-control, mind mastery. So it doesn't take you down all these avenues. Act on inner guidance without need for proof. So, it's like no such thing as acting just because I feel secure in this. It's when you get a message, sometimes you don't know and you just follow as best you can as you hear. And lastly, stay in the now. Do not project yourself here or project yourself there or any of that. And be ready for change. Be ready for change because you probably, I'm going to be very honest, we're probably not living our most complete, full life, especially with everything that's going on. And people have, put their, drawn their line in the sand, put their feet down and saying, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to look for the kernel of truth in what you're saying or what you're saying. We're just going to do this. People, we need to stop that. We need to look for the kernel of truth, no matter who's saying it. We need to stop following these avenues down here and down there, if indeed we want to live from a place of personal power and live from a place of wisdom and live from a place of connectedness to the divine. All right, this is the longest one I've done in a while, so sorry about that, but we're getting more and more deep with these chakras. There's more and more to share and more practice that is coming to us. So let me know if you have any questions. Take care. And don't forget, stay in the now.